Cool.
Passing is a C, right?
Yeah.
I was saying it passing with a D. Why is a D not passing?
Because it's a D. That's a really low grade.
But you still get high school credit, right?
That's true.
Like passing with a D.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
What's passing grade?
Wait, really?
Keep that
Let's get started then. So, number one, the square root of 16 is 4. And since it's negative, we'll put an I next to it. Number two, remember to simplify these separately. So I'm going to go ahead right off the bat, make the 10 positive and put an I out instead of having that negative. And then the square root of 25 is just 5. No more radical. Radical gone. The square root of negative 25, 5i. So this is going to become 2 times 5i. There's like an invisible multiplication sign here. Whatever happens to this gets multiplied to that 2 in front. Alright, so now we have 4i square root 10 times 10i. And when you multiply, you can multiply the numbers outside the radical. So I'm going to do this 4 times this 10 gives me 40. I squared, I times I squared, square root 10. And don't leave I squared in any of your answers, because I squared is negative 1. Square root 10. This is you could just consider this classwork. I wanted to give you, a good review. So I have, I think, like 10 questions here that you might see on your test. Next to, and this, right off that handout, the complex number handout, the 8 skills that I held up a second ago. Really, can you just look in your folder before you ask?
It like did. Skill 3? Is it complete? What skill is it?
Which one?
Number 3.
Number 3? What? The first page.
That's perfect.
It's on the bottom of the front page. Number 3 is on the bottom of the front page. It's example this is example 7 in skill 4. I love that you guys are looking at that and not waiting for me to do it. That's legit.
Yes, actually. Like 9 times 8.
The
9 times 5 is 45.
Okay, so whatever you do, just put the finger down where you want to count your fingers to the top. Right?
No, I never did the finger chart. I just know that the two numbers add up to be 9. That's it.
No, because I don't.
You know your timetables?
9 times 3.
It's like third grade.
Well, I like sometimes I'll make an announcement. Hey, check your bags for my calculator to see like how you bring it back, and then usually they come back. But I have like 3 left. Well, I just since I let you use them on the test, I think you should get a calculator. You know, like, so I just don't have them anymore. No, there's like 3 or 4. There's not enough. I think people take them, like, put them in their bag, and then normally people bring them back, like it was in their car or their backpack, and then they just show back up. But I teach more freshmen this year than I have. Do you guys know what this is called? What's this red expression called? Anybody? The conjugate. The complex conjugate. So, in order to simplify this, you're not supposed to have an imaginary denominator. You multiply the top and bottom by the complex conjugate. And it's a full FOIL, first, outer, inner, last, when you multiply. Check your first step. How'd you do? Got a question on any of the numbers? Correct. And in your second step, you have a real number denominator, which is the goal. The I squared becomes -1, and the middle terms are opposites, and they're canceled. Yeah, 117. 57. Okay. Which part do you have a question about? you put your phone in your backpack? Foil-aided multiplication. This? Well, just the negative 54 plus 54 cancels. That's all. I really added them. And there's 0. So it turns out that all of these divide by 3. Yeah. And so that's simplest form.
So on the mini quiz, if we had 12 minus 6, 7, 9, that would be 3.
Yeah.
You were just spoiling it.
Foil in the next one? No, it's a subtraction problem. Don't multiply. If there's a plus or a minus in here, don't foil. People will.
I knew that.
You just highlighted a really big common mistake. People will foil. Yeah, if there's no sign, then you foil. Yeah, they all divide by 3. Yeah. Okay, so about your comment. So let's do this. You can use your notes, but it's an automatic 8% drop of your grade. So the highest we get to 92%. You can do it open note. Yeah. Everybody on this quiz. So tomorrow on your quiz. Tomorrow on your quiz, if you want to be open note, you can. The highest you can get to 92%. Yeah, anything in your notebook. You can even use the textbook. Yeah. No, so you choose not to use your notes. You got a chance of getting that 100. Right? Honestly, if you're not already earning 90s on the quizzes and tests, you're probably not in the A zone anyway, right? So if you're shooting for an A, you should not use your notes. Yeah. Yeah. And quadratic formula. Yeah. So this comes from the last time I did an open note quiz. Some people were like, if I don't use my notes, can I get extra credit? And I do think most of the students who earned, A's, they didn't need their notes. So I want to acknowledge that. So if you're in that range, don't use your notes. Get your A. If you're just trying to pass and you're overwhelmed, use your notes and pass. A 92. Okay, here we go. Yeah. If there was a plus sign? If it's a plus sign, keep everything the same. Yeah. Wait, this is going to become plus. I'm sorry. It's like -1 times 2, -2. -1 times -5, +5. Like a negative times a negative. There's your answer. All right. Yeah, the next two are solving. No, you're right about your question, Max. This should be solved by square rooting. No. Like, put a line in, subtract 120. Put a line in, divide by 9. Does 120 divide by 9? I feel like it does.
No, it's like 13.3.
Weird. They both divide by 3. Oh, 120, 120. No, it has to. Okay, let's continue. What I would do next, as in your shoes, is square root both sides. Did I go too far? And I would get x squared is plus or minus negative 120. Well, actually, I'm going to go ahead and make that a 3. The square root of 9 is 3. Oh, just yeah. And then we got to break down 120. It's 4 times 30.
It's 30.
Yeah. Square root 30 all over 3. Hey, there's 3 more questions. It's not there. What's that? Oh, you lost something?
Yeah. Something very important, like my phone.
Alright, the next 2 things are completing the square and quadratic formula. Yeah, completing the square like the page, the second page, the front of the second page. No, there's no factoring on this quiz. It's like everything but factoring. It's everything but factoring and graphing. Which is what the last quiz was, so that makes sense. Factoring will be on your big test though. So, who remembers this? So, okay.
Oh, he has a B of 2.
Yeah, first I'm going to divide everything by 2. Now I'm going to subtract 1/2. Because it's not working out for me. Yes, Jade. Because this, yes. Yeah, good job. Alright, put a blank space in. Move C. That 1/2 isn't working. Move it. And now is when you do B over 2 squared. put a 1 in both spots.
You put 1.5 here.
No, it's not. Isn't that 0.5 anyway? Yeah, 1/2. Yep. So 1 minus 1/2 is 1/2. So I just did negative 1/2 plus 1. I got 1/2. And then you factor by square rooting.
Why did you add the 1?
I did. So it's a negative 1/2 plus 1 is a positive 1/2. Is that your question or no? Yeah, okay. Then you factor it, write it as a binomial squared. A lot of steps.
Is it appropriate to have a radical sign in the denominator?
No, I've been avoiding this in every problem when it came up here.
So then how do you solve?
You gotta use the conjugate. I won't. Negative square root of 2. No, you don't have one. Let's stop there, and that's good enough.
Okay, so if we get a question like this, do you want us to just leave it like that? Alright.
If you have completed the square answer. But what I was touring, what I'm going to do is make sure that number can square root. Because this does make me uncomfortable. You're not supposed to have radicals in the denominator. But this is like a whole nother problem. I'm making that right. I'm not gonna do that. You got a little quiz tomorrow and then a big test a week from tomorrow. You'll probably have to do it on your separate papers. My print budget is. Yeah. Next one.
What class is learning about slope intersection?
Algebra 1. What those today? No way. Okay, so 7, the discriminant, we just talked about Friday for the very first time. So in your homework tonight, I only assigned you 2 problems. I said study, I said 2 problems. The 2 problems do ask about the discriminant, and I do encourage you to read about it. Read the textbook about the discriminant. Yeah, so starting with number 7, we are now off that handout. So 1 through 6 skills were all on that handout. Starting with the discriminant and the quadratic formula, that was just notes in your notebook. So on Friday, we talked about the discriminant, and I'll do it all over again. The discriminant is b squared minus 4ac. It's the little part under the radical. And if b squared minus 4ac is greater than 0, you say that the problem has 2 real solutions. However, if it's negative, less than 0, you say it has 2 imaginary answers. And if it exactly equals 0, you have 1 real solution. So you're going to have to identify A, B, and C. So in number 7, A is negative 3, B is negative 7, and C is negative 4. going to plug that in here. And whatever the solution is, you're going to decide, is that number greater than 0, less than 0, or exactly 0? Let's try it. So it's negative 7 squared minus 4 times negative 3 times negative 4. It's honestly the hardest part of the quadratic formula. It's because of the signs here. Ooh. I like it.
There's two real solutions.
Two real solutions. So 1 is greater than 0. Therefore, there are two real solutions. That's the discriminant. Last question, quadratic formula.
You have to write it out like that.
No, you can just put two real solutions. You don't have to say their form. I do want to make a little reminder.
We have to set the equal to 0 before we can do all the good stuff.
Remember to set equal to 0, which was a huge theme on the ice cream handout. So now do the quadratic formula.
We already have the discriminant.
Yes, Holly? This is now number 8. No, this is quadratic formula, and this is discriminant. They're different. The quadratic formula is negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac all over 2a.
Can we just put 1 there?
Yes. If you showed your the discriminant, you understand that is going to be exactly what's in the next one. You can just put the 1 in. If you can connect that right now, go for it. That's a good connection.
So instead of doing that 7 squared and everything,
Yeah,
just
so you
put
put the 1 in if you realize that it's the same thing. Why didn't you eat lunch?
By the time I get my lunch, I'm sorry. So that's where I bring a lunchbox.
Or just
I'm like 10 minutes before I go to school.
or just gotta be uncomfortable about that. Like wait in line, eat quickly. Life is a hustle, you guys. Right to the life. Life is a hustle. That just so you know, like it doesn't get easier.
Once you get older,
This is the life, right? I'm there.
Yeah, life is a hustle.
Look at that face. That's the face of a second place.
You know, you know what? I'm gonna remember these words when I see you at the finish line. Yeah, no kidding me. Yeah, no kidding me. I have to find you in my dust.
Victoria's cast.
No. -4/3 and -1.
We've done this race twice
If you
already,
just
and I've
leave it
beaten
like
you
that,
both
is it still
times.
credit?
Yeah, she's not full credit.
Go ahead.
Where are you going?
I'm going to 32.
That's the one on the left.
Wait. Oh crap, never mind, I forgot. Since the schedule changed, I'm not going to voting 2, I'm going to vote 7. So, you guys will be voting right over there. I don't go to voting 2 anymore, schedule change.
Alright, when you're done, get out your ice cream handout in the work.
Oh, I thought you meant like actually.
You know what, what the hell, have fun. Yeah.
That's why I just share mine.
I literally race with Frank here every day.
Whenever it's but it doesn't say.
So it's supposed to look like this, right?
Oh, it's a -4 on the back of the Did you have positive or negative? I had negative. Here's number 3. So here, did I simplify? I didn't have to make this. This was a lot of work. Your work.
Well, I don't have the cord, so. No. At home.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Matt, Wesley? Wesley?
Well, then what if we don't have our work with us? That is 0.
Andrew stopped was there once and
Bruh.
talking to Andrew about our love life.
But they would be 0.
That's probably not 10th grade. No, I would.
I don't have it now.
I spent so much time coloring.
Do you have the work, Emily? The work? Is she taking it? Are you taking on this one? I don't have a- Is that a 0?
I had no idea.
I would have won that.
Well, now I do. After today, I did this. But last Friday, I did not. I just didn't know the No, I was what was going on? I thought this No, I did it. Actually, I just simplified it. I just simplified the expressions with that. I didn't know you did it.
I never say that to
I'm almost done coloring that. I did. I spent such a.
Oh, by the way, I didn't.
Jacksonville party. In the lobby. Sit down. You guys can get your homework done or study or do something productive. Jackson, whenever you do that.